to another Freedom Talk, where Vivekji takes questions from seekers across the world. Freedom Talks happen on Sundays during Vivekji's Meaningful Morning sessions. If you're interested in joining, find out more about Meaningful Mornings on our website, chinmayaniagara.com. Let's tune into this week's questions.
Why do we engage in a freedom talk where you're looking at nature, where you're drinking a hot beverage? It is not to hear other people's questions and reflections, but rather to see how you relate to the same. These are your questions, and these are your answers too. You have these answers. You're just not listening to yourself enough. We continue with questions from Why Do We? What does Sanatana Dharma tell us about women's rights to choose, if anything? This is anonymous. Defining the word Sanatana Dharma in a way that we typically understand, this is Hinduism. My first point, Sanatana Dharma does not treat men and women, or any sort of combination, differently. Sanatana means infinite. There is no exclusivity in infinity. However, I'm well aware that how this is practiced is often filled with exclusivity. And so this practicing of Sanatana Dharma can't be attributed to Sanatana Dharma, rather the practitioners. In a very simple example, if you are driving a car and you accidentally hit someone, and the car doesn't get in trouble, you do. You are the practitioner. The car is the vehicle. Understood and agreed. So, focusing on the practicing of Sanatana Dharma, why you may feel that women's rights have been taken away or are not existent. Back in the day, when people's livelihood was more agricultural based, and really this is for the whole world, those who worked in the fields typically were men. And those who tended to family affairs, particularly raising kids, was women. It's no different than in our home when our kids were younger. And the unfortunate part in this is that this stayed on then. And those who stayed at home, as if were given less rights, and those who left the home were given more rights. And we do the same in different ways, such as we take for granted those who are at home, right? Those who get a paycheck as if have more contribution than those who don't get a paycheck. Correct? We think in the same way. And that's why such communities are important, where money doesn't mean power. Staying at home or leaving the home, both are important. In a micro sense, in our home, I don't have an income. Sheila does. I do 60% of the work. She makes 60% of the decisions. So really, it is up to how an individual and a family is practicing. And I'm really happy that our community, I feel, is coming back to the idea of infinity means inclusivity. Next, what do you do when you have planned your future and want to pursue your dreams, but your parents don't support you? Should you leave your dreams for them? For all of the parents that are in this workshop, what would you do? For all of the parents, those with more experience, I feel that we would follow our dreams. We would follow our dreams. And so my first point to you, your dreams are yours and you have to live with them forever. Your parents and everyone in your life will come and go. Think of the last year. Think of when you were in high school. Do you remember all of those people? Do you still associate with them? But your dreams, that is your relationship with your intellect. If your intellect is decisive, your mind will be quiet. You will be happy. You should follow your dreams. In fact, this will carry over to the next lifetime also. Now, in terms of your relationship with your parents, we should have a relationship of listening. Now, listening doesn't mean following. I know this as a teacher, that people listen. Do they follow? That is quite different. Listening means sitting with them, understanding yourself, having a dialogue, not being impatient and combative and so on and so forth. Listen. What would the wise do? They're part of that party. But then finally, you have to learn to use your own intellect. You will observe in the Bhagavad Gita, and I'll highlight this many times, there are no do's and don'ts that Sri Krishna tells Prince Arjuna. He simply shares, be responsible. Because if you share with someone a do and don't, it's context-based. If you have low sugar levels, and then you read a poster that says, sugar is bad for you, all of a sudden that poster is going to harm your health, correct? It is context-based. The message should be, have a healthy sugar level. That means being more responsible, and many of us don't like that. We just want to be told what to do and what not to do. But that's not good for us in the long term.